guys, my name is Lad, and today I'm going to be sharing basically like the lore of a character that I created, which is basically an extension of my persona, Lad, in preparation for the next video of the Minecraft survival episode that I'm going to launch. This story originally came to me and was inspired by the clan SMP that the podcasters had, so you can check that out if you're interested, as well as the Migrator cape you get when you migrate your account from Mojang to Microsoft. So, without further ado, let's begin. The story starts with a clan. Now, it was a small one, constantly under the pressure and fire of other warring clans. After years, they finally retreated underground, leaving no trace of their existence. However, a large dilemma arose. They needed some source of sustenance to feed their entire clan. One journey through the deepest deep slate tunnels, the small portion of the members found a lush cave. With glowberries as food, plenty of water, and wood, the clan members founded their small civilization, unknown to the warring clans above. One day, one of the members, named Tisha, found redstone and began experimenting with it. She built tunnel bores, auto farms, and automatic doors. She taught all the other villagers redstone, and it became the primary practice of the village. They used their redstone machines to make their way to the Nether, and made a small village there as well. Tisha was then given the title of head engineer. Needing supplies, a small group of villagers made their way to the surface to trade the quartz and minerals they had obtained. Reaching the surface, they were met with a woodland mansion. Fear of pillagers and vindicators making their way down the tunnels, the group ransacked the mansion, making it their own. The strongest one of them, Derek, was known for his bravery in the trek through the Nether, and was crowned their leader. With the great accomplishment of conquering the mansion, their new leader declared their clan be named. They were known from then on as the Migrators, who went underground and back up again, conquering the Nether and the forbidden woodland mansion. Later in the history of the Migrators, their first leader, Derek, was not really the ideal leader. The Migrators wanted to hide their riches, with the idea to prevent war with the other warring clans. Derek thought otherwise. He believed that they were strong enough to conquer all of them. With all the turmoil of the clans fighting each other, he wanted to sneak behind and destroy all of the clans, even those who surpassed them in numbers. Sure, the Migrators had their machines and the netherite enchants, but numbers and fighting skill was scarce. The head engineer, Tisha, along with the elder members, removed Derek from his seat of power and threatened to exile him if he showed any hostility towards the other clans. From then on, the Migrators created a council, all of which were the original members who had survived the wrath of war above. Each member governed the different professions of the people: redstone, farming, mining, trading, and battle. Infuriated, Derek silently left the clan and now wanders seeking revenge. One member, apprentice to Tisha, named Lad, trained hard in the way of the sword, and was now the most skilled since Derek had left. One day, strange echoes came from a cave that a tunnel bore had revealed. The echoes soon became unbearable and ring throughout the entire clan. Lad, with some other scouts, journeyed down. Deeper and deeper into the deep slate they went. Soon, they discovered a pulsating black growth surrounding the walls of the cave. Further down, one scout noticed the dim glow of a soul lantern. As they arrived at the light, they all drank night vision potions. As the effect began, they all paused at the sight of what was revealed. The cave they were in overlooked a large city, broken down and covered in old growth. It was built of a polished version of the deep slate they had been surrounded with. There were bridges, towers, courtyards, and in the very center, a large frame surrounded by soul fire. No one moved. No one ever expected this to be under them this entire time. They came down from the tunnel, except as Lad put her foot down on the ground, a sound rang. It was like a wooden wind chime, and it was soon followed by a horrifying scream. They could not make a sound down there, in fear of what would happen if whatever that made that screaming sound went off again. They quietly explored the ruins, which were conveniently covered with carpets and wool. They dared not touch or open any of the chests. Lad soon found a book. It was a journal by the old builders that, centuries ago, came here. This was their city. In it were logs describing portal tests, the mysterious growth they called Skulk, and the arrival of something horrible, the Warden. Noises that he heard were of Skulk sensors that alerted Screechers if any noise was made. She was excited by the discovery and scanned for her companions. To her horror, she heard one of them scream. She covered her big ears as hundreds of Screechers sounded off. The ground shook. She looked over the banister of a tower she was atop of and saw her companions dart everywhere in fear, being pursued by the monster she had just read of, the Warden. She was too late. She was frozen with fear up there and watched helplessly as it destroyed each of the scouts. As all was soon quieted, it stood there. She dared not make a move. Yet how would she escape? She slowly trekked to the ladder to escape the tower. However, she did not tread lightly enough. The monster tilted its head up in alert and then dashed for her. She unsheathed her sword for defense. Yet she had no intentions of fighting the beast. She ran all around the city until she found another tunnel on the opposite side they had entered the cavern. She ran through the deep slate, the lush caves, the caves with falls into lava, until after running for half an hour, she saw daylight. She emerged in a root forest. Her face was wet with tears and sweat, relieved that she was still alive. All she could remember was a voice. The last thing she knew, she was falling. The following poem was made in her honor years after, when the clan realized what had happened down there that faithful day. Through deep slate, through stone, through cavern and cave, the master of the underground labyrinth, and avoider of the grave. Unsheath thy netherite sword, avenge thy companions' lives, return to thy people as the Warden dies. That was the story. But not now. A much greater threat will face the Migrator. The question is not what or who, but how. Do you like Chloe?